Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm honestly feeling it today with the hat, the glasses. I'm just hiding the lockdown hair. I like the fact no one on Kwak TV yet has questioned the hat. Good morning. You are watching Kwak TV because why watch crap TV when you can watch Kwak TV? We're Calvin K from Kwak Talks, and you are watching this right now, right live. Honestly, it's fabulous. Either in my Facebook group, the Duck Pond. If you're not in the Facebook group, that way. If you're not in the Facebook group, the Duck Pond, go and join in there. It is also live on my Facebook page where you can share it far and wide, Kwak Talks. You can also catch every single replay on YouTube, every single one, which is how my guest today ended up finding and deciding that they wanted to come onto the show by watching the replays on YouTube. And you can also sometimes catch some sneaky peeks on LinkedIn. But how are we doing? I sound a bit croaky today, do I? I don't know what's going on there. I think I'm just a bit sleepy. What can I say? Perks being self-employed, you can sleep till whenever you want. That's why I do Kwak TV, gets me out of bed. But yes, so I hope we are all doing well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a sneaky thing backstage. When I do this, it's kind of like when you want to go to people, talk amongst yourselves. You don't want to do that. You don't really want to get people to talk amongst themselves when I'm on a bloody live video because it don't go very well. Right, bear with me. What am I clicking? I'm clicking all the wrong buttons, people. Bear with me. I'm trying. This is why men should multitask, and that's a controversial thing to say, but men really should not multitask. That's all I'm going to say. That one. And our fabulous guest name into this fabulous group where we both network, so people can come and jump in. There we go. Sorry, I don't like doing that sometimes in the morning. It makes me feel a wee bit awkward. So when you watch this on YouTube, you don't even know what I'm doing. You don't even know what I'm doing. I've just shared it far and wide on Facebook. That is what I've done. So yes, if you are watching live, please do jump in the comments because we have nearly finished another week and I've got a fabulous guest on today, which I'll bring on very shortly to help me nearly finish the week with. I don't know how your week's been. Mine's been very, very productive. I've had a lot of light bulb moments this week. A real good amount of light bulb moments of what I want to do in my business, the things I want to try, things I want to run. And I can't wait. I've also had a couple of affirmations in life. Oh, that's a bit deep in it for a Thursday morning. I've had a couple of affirmations in life, knowing things I want to try, things I want to go and do, and it's been fabulous. But as we know, every morning on Kwak TV, and if you don't know, I go through the different days of the year. So this is fabulous. I can't wait till next year when I get to try these again, and I just end up repeating them. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that last year. Yeah. Anyway, so today apparently is Awkward Moments Day. So today is your day to share them awkward moments far and wide on social media, or with friends and family. So make sure you go and do that. It is also Companies That Care Day. Celebrate your business. Celebrate your company if you care for people. Celebrate where you work if they care for you. Why not? It is also Forgive Mum and Dad Day. Oh, that's cute. I don't get why that has to be a day, if I'm really honest, but okay. It is also Biodiesel Day. Where is that oil, people, in your back garden? Have you emptied your fryer? Let's make some biodiesel. Yeah. Don't pour it in your car. I'm not going to be liable for saying that. It is also, remember, it is also Universal Women's Week. It is also Foot Care Week. It is also Something Else Week and Something Else Week. It's a lot of weeks this week. But what we're bothered about today is it being Biodiesel Day, Universal Women's Week, Forgive Mum and Dad Day, Companies That Care Day, and Awkward Moments Day. Oh, do you know what? I've got so many awkward moments. So many. You know when you go on nights out, remember when we used to be able to do that stuff, right? I have so many awkward things that happened on nights out with me. Oh my Christ, it was ridiculous. Anyway, and then also every morning, I like to go through trending hashtags on Twitter because a lot of people forget about Twitter. I feel like it's dying a death a little bit, if I'm really honest. But your hashtags you can use today are hashtag Thursday morning, hashtag Thursday thoughts, hashtag Thursday vibes. Oh, it's also Global Recycling Day. That probably ties in with Biodiesel Day. So it's also hashtag Global Recycling Day. It's also, let me see if there's any more. Oh, I think that might be it. So it's hashtag Thursday morning, hashtag Thursday thoughts, hashtag Thursday vibes, hashtag Global Recycling Day. But some of them tweets, by the way, I've got nearly 20,000 tweets on all of them. So make sure you go and jump in on that because it really, really will help you. So this morning, with no further ado, about to bring my guest on. It's fabulous. So this guest today, I love it. So every guest that books on, I get them to fill out a little form just so I know, you know, what they're coming on. I don't look until the day because I do like it to be a surprise about what we're going to be talking about. And today's guest put rock and roll and insurance, if you want to talk about that, because this person really likes rock and roll. So with no further ado, I'm about to bring on the one and only Mr. Martin Byrne. Good morning, kind sir. How are you?
Good morning, mate. I'm as good as gold, thanks. How are you
Oh,
doing?
this is what we're. I love it when I re-say good morning to people because I've obviously already said it to you backstage, but you know, it's showbiz, kids, showbiz. You've got to do it.
Showbiz, mate. Showbiz. I just want to
So,
mention the hat and the hair thing, mate, because I've got this theory that this summer's going to be like Woodstock, right? Because no one's been able to party for a year, and no one's been able to have a haircut for a year. So it's just going to go boom with loads of hippies. So you're on point.
the thing is, if I get this right string, I can put it up so I can look like that. I can pull it down and look like a maiden. I can do loads of this. It's great. I'm not going for any of them looks, but I can do many things with it. But no, it's Martin. How have you? First of all, who are you and what do you do? I'll get that question out the way. So, Martin, tell us who are you and what do you do?
Okay, so I'm Martin Byrne, originally from New Zealand, moved to London when I was 21, spent 15 years in rock and roll bands, got kids, so had to get a proper job and made the obvious move into financial services, littered with old rockers.
I like that. The obvious choice.
Yeah.
Finance. The obvious choice. So obviously, how have you found, I'll tell you what, I'll go from Christmas. How have you found the start from this year? Obviously, you know, without diving into everything that's gone on, because it's volatile, like how have you found it from the start of this year in life and in business? How have you found it?
It's all right, mate. You know, I kind of like to draw a line under things. So it was nice to hit the end of the year and go, right, draw a line under that, move on to the next year. So hopeful, I think, is how I've probably found the year.
Like yeah, I like that. That's a good answer to that. I found this year hopeful. No, I like that. You know, I'm completely the same. You know, I'm really privileged that my business was busy throughout the whole COVID situation. And oh god, I said the dreaded word.
You said it before me. Hey.
Yeah, honestly. But no, I'm really blessed. I am really, really blessed. And you know, my hat goes out to the people that aren't. And sometimes I think a lot of people have felt bad saying that, but I'm like, you don't have to feel bad, you know, it's whatever you've made of a crappy situation if you've been able to make something with it. Some people aren't able to make something with it.
Yeah.
So
I think if you know other people are suffering, you kind of don't want to shout about if you're doing well. You know, that's what, you know, like last year was my busiest ever year because, you know, on the insurance side, it's, you know, my whole pitch is, hey, guess what? Things can go wrong that you can't control. That's what I've been telling people. And then now I don't have to say it anymore. So
yeah, it's proven. The point is proven. But no, it's really good. So right, let's dive into rock and roll because I'm curious how you've gone from rock and roll to financial services. So 15, 20 years rock and roll, did you say there? Like how long was you hardcore doing it? Hardcore doing rock and roll?
Yeah, I was in probably in my first band in New Zealand when I was about 15, punk rock band, and then you know I used to get these magazines, Enemy, Melody Maker. They don't really exist anymore, but I used to get them 6 weeks late because I used to come by boat to my local newsagent in Manurewa. And I'd pick them up and I'd open them up and I'd look in the back page and see all of these bands I was never going to see because none of them ever came to New Zealand. And I used to listen to John Peel on the World Service. Me and my mate at school would just listen to John Peel. And so I just wanted to get to London and be in a band, basically. But how I made the move was, it's funny, when I was in bands and I was working at record shops and market stalls and stuff like that. And, you know, it's what I didn't understand when I was in a band was that it's the music business, not the music friends, you know, and you know, I had that kind of paradigm that like I'm an artist and all of that kind of stuff. But a mate of mine, a Kiwi mate of mine said to me, listen, sales is sales is sales. It doesn't matter whether it's a band on stage, a t-shirt, a CD, a service, a product. And when and that kind of changed my paradigm, you know, and I kind of got my head around that. And he got me an interview for a mortgage company. And I went and bought my first suit from Burton's Menswear, Tottenham Court Road, 90 quid. And I always presented well. I went and did the interview and I remember coming home really depressed in my suit. My wife said, how'd it go? And I went, I've got the job, you know. But yeah, it's you know, I'd never equated, you know, I'd never realized that I'd been selling myself my whole life anyway, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because, you know, that's completely the music industry. My previous partner, who I'm still fabulous friends with, they're a music producer and DJ, in particular within like EDM and house. And I remember helping them because they was doing just something they loved as a hobby. And then I went, you do know you can get paid for this. And it was kind of that paradigm shift where it was like, this couple of people in their local area had quite a busy like pubs or bars, and they was friends with the parents. And this person, it was like 18 to 20 when we was having this conversation, for example. And they was like, oh, well, they're just offering me it to get, just to get into it, blah, blah, blah. I went, nah, not having that. I worked in nightclubs previously. So I said to them, bet I can get you in this nightclub. Bet I can get you in it. And I went, okay. They got a trial shift on the busiest night of the week, right? Yeah. And this is what you're saying back, I get what you're saying back, sales. Everything is sales. And it was kind of saying to them, you need to go in and sell yourself now. You're not just doing it. You need to sell yourself because you want to earn away from this. Got hired there and then. And it was kind of that complete, when they changed the paradigm shift of understanding, I need to sell myself by doing this, as well as just having fun. Like, it completely changed. And they completely saw their industry in a complete new light as well. And, kind of went, oh, shit, actually, this is a business. Not just me myself, but the whole industry is a business, and I need to look at it like that.
Yeah, and I think as well, I think initially when I moved from one to the other, I thought I had to be someone different. And I've worked out along the way that actually, being authentic is the most important thing. And I use rock and roll as a generic term. I actually make electronic music now. It's, some people want their insurance guy to be in a suit and a tie, grey hair, and never swear. But most people don't. And actually, if that's what they're looking for, then I'm not the guy for them. So
you're completely right. You are completely right. It's the same with me being a business coach. It's the amount of people that I say to, I'm like, if you want traditional, you do not want me. I'm not traditional. I even say the word unconventional. It's oh, good morning, Mr. Howard Vale, jumping on the call. Hope you are well, sir.
Howard.
Yeah, good old Howard. I love Howard. He's an absolute gem. He's the one who made that fancy trumpet thing at the beginning of my video. He's a lovely guy. But yeah, so the rock and roll, I bet you've obviously, I'm not going to dig for them, got quite a few good stories with that. And, with it being, awkward day today, National Awkward Day, you must have a situation or two when either being on stage or performing or anything like that, when you've had an awkward moment. You must have at least one.
Oh yeah. The good thing about being my age, Callum, is when all that stuff was happening, there was no one following you around with a camera, streaming it live. I think we actually probably got away with a lot more than kids can these days, because poor buggers are getting filmed by everyone. But no, I remember it was probably my last gig in Auckland when it was a show called Punk Warmed Up. It was all the local punk bands, and a mate of mine, I was playing guitar, and a mate of mine, Dean, decided to kind of throw me in the crowd. So he was standing in front of the stage. He grabbed me from the front of the stage and just grabbed me and threw me off like that, and everyone bloody parted, and I just went donk on the ground, got knocked out. Wandered, kind of got taken backstage, and then kind of came to a few minutes later and thought I'm supposed to be playing, and kind of wandered back on and was kind of standing on the stage, not really knowing what was going on. Yeah, I wish someone had filmed that.
But crowd surfing didn't happen that day. It didn't happen. It's just
no.
Oh, fabulous!
It's happened to me a couple of times. I used to play bass in a band called the Australian Stooges, who none of whom were Australian. It was some guys from Camden Market, and me and my mate Miles were in it because basically we could approximate an Australian accent, being Kiwis. But we did a tour called the Stroller Coaster Tour in the UK, and again, I I was kneeling down to change, my plug was funny or something like that. I was kneeling down, and the blooming guitar player at that time decided to just swing round as well, and again knocked me out. I've got a thing about getting knocked out on stage by guitars. So yeah, that's probably the best one I got.
Oh, I love it. At least he didn't say like, you needed to go to the toilet while performing, and at least it wasn't any of them kind of stories. But no, that's fabulous. And obviously, so how did you find the transition coming from New Zealand into the UK, especially with you aiming at music at the time when you came from New Zealand to the UK? How did that transition go for you at your age when you was then? How old was you then?
I was 21, so I left New Zealand kind of about a week before my 21st birthday. Went with a good pal of mine, Jaffa. We went to Melbourne. I worked in a sweet factory for 3 months and got my airfare up and came over to the UK. And yeah, it was funny because my dad's from Manchester. You see, he was a £10 POM in the 50s. So I had what's called a certificate of patriality in my passport where I could stay. And it wasn't really until all my mates went back because they had 2-year visas that I kind of stopped being a Kiwi, if that makes sense, and started hanging out with English people. I never came over here I never like hung out in Earl's Court or anything like that. It's the way I looked at it, you know, I could have just saved the plane fare and done that at home. Yeah. So, you know, I kind of really did want to integrate and kind of hang out with, you know, people that lived in the UK. I don't mean British people, just people that lived in the UK that weren't Kiwis and Aussies. So yeah, it took a while to transition. It's really weird over the time seeing what things cross over. So the New Zealand humor never used to be taking the piss. And I remember when I got here, people would take the piss and I think they meant it, you know. I'd be like, oh, wow, they really don't like me. And until some guy said, you know, listen, if you think people are taking the piss, they are. Just take that as a given. Now, when I speak to people in New Zealand, that kind of sense of humor has gone back over there now as well. And they're very sarcastic as well, but it never used to be. So it took a while to kind of to integrate. But you know, I love living over here. I think there's a lot of amazing things. I think you get a view as well when you talk to people that live in this country that go, oh, it's, you know, they complain or they don't think it's very good. Or when you come here from somewhere else, you can actually see all the good things you've got here. The NHS is amazing. You know, you can pay 40 quid and you can be in a different country. Whereas in New Zealand, the nearest place is Australia. It's 2,000 miles away and it's full of Australians. I'm only joking. I like Australians. But, you know, so there's a lot of great things about this country that I really, really love.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So then obviously the next transition is into like insurance and financial services along them side. So why have you stuck in that? Have you become quite passionate about that?
Absolutely. So I started off as a business development manager for a mortgage packaging firm. But it was like, you know, you'd bring the sales in, you put them in the bucket. And there was a great big hole in the bottom of this bucket called poor service. So you couldn't, you know, it wasn't up to you how much or how well things went. It was up to other people. And I never liked that because you'd do a great job and get a client in and then someone would do a really bad job and you'd lose them. And you'd think, why have I bothered, you know? So they said they would pay for your first CMAP exam. So I thought, right, I need to do this. So I did all my 3 CMAP exams in 6 months, got qualified as a mortgage broker and started doing that. Then in 2006-7, Royal London brought out this thing called Relevant Life Policy, where you can have a life policy through your limited company and you can get corporation tax relief on the premium. And it works out about 40% cheaper than paying it out of your post-tax, post-NICS income. And I just saw that as a no-brainer. I'd spent about a week on this mortgage case and then the guy phoned up and said, oh, someone down the road said he'll do it 50p cheaper. So I'm doing that. So I just went, F it, and just got all that stuff off my desk. We're not doing it anymore, you know. Yeah. And I decided to specialize in business protection because I like talking to business owners. You know, they're high detail, they understand risk, they make decisions, and they've got budgets. So I've been a kind of business protection specialist since 2008. I just don't think an IFA can't be good at, you know, pensions, investments, mortgages, ISAs, savings, protection, business protection. You can't be an expert in that. You know, it's too much. So I just decided to niche down into the one bit that I really like. And it's because I'm dealing with business owners as well. Yeah. I'm really comfortable with that.
See, I love that because, you know, I'm with SJP, don't judge me. I'm with St. James's Place. But what I love is the advisors in particular that I've come across have kind of said the same as you. Even though they're with St. James's Place, they've niched on one thing. And they're like, you know, most of them have gone, I'm not educated. I might be trained on it, but I'm not as educated on everything else because that's what I like doing. That's what I like selling. And it's quite nice, but I know exactly what you mean. You can't do everything. Even as a firm, you cannot offer everything. You know, me as a business coach, I can't work with every single business that comes in the door because I might not have the knowledge. I might not have. I work on the spark. So me talking to someone and talk about their business. And then if I get a spark or a bit of a flavor for it, and I'm like, oh, you could do this, you could look at that. I know I can work with them. But if I don't get that, I can't. And that's a lot of the time how I work it. And people go, oh, I really appreciate you being honest. I'm like, I'm not for you. However, this person might be. This person might be. This, and like you're saying, as you focus on that, I take it you pass people to other businesses or other people that possibly do the things you don't.
I like that you've actually got that understanding. You're not very old, are you? Do you mind me asking how old you are?
Oh God, don't. I'm 25.
25, right? Okay, you're very switched on for a 25-year-old, mate. I was 57 last week, and you know, I know. I spent years preserving myself. You know, there's a picture up in the loft somewhere that looks awful, but I wish I was as switched on as you was 25, because you understand that thing that, you know, in life some people will like you, some people won't like you, some people won't give a shit, and that's okay. You know, pardon my French, but that's okay. And I think the sooner you can get that in life, the sooner you can get on with what you need to be doing and not really worry about people that go, you know, what you're doing, you're crazy, you know, he's an idiot, or, you know, because as soon as you accept that some people won't, you know, will be indifferent about you, you stop worrying about it.
Do you know what, Martin? Like, it comes along the lines of possibly the way you've kind of, by the sounds of it, done your life. I didn't do it in the conventional way. I didn't go to university. I worked from the age of 16. I got my first job. I went to college on the same day, literally overnight. I got through into adulthood overnight. Age of 18, I had a job. I stayed there for a couple of months. I got offered a management job in nightclubs. And, you know, they spotted me working at this place. They kind of like scouted me for it. They went, we know you're young. We'll train you, but we really love your work ethic, blah, blah, blah. So I never went to uni. I didn't do traditional. I've always worked in hospitality and catering. That is my background. I've never really had any savings because it's a poor paying industry. So I've kind of like, I've tried lots of different things. I've pulled out lots of different things. And then a bit like you, when I found something I was passionate about, even when starting a business, you know, I didn't start as a business coach. I had a retail business. And, you know, I ended up falling into this, and it was like, oh, okay, actually, I'm really passionate about this. So it wasn't for me, really, even for someone in their early 20s. I've not had the normal, air quote, normal, early 20s start that most people get. And, you know, and I've loved it. It's been challenging, but I've loved it. But I feel like I've had challenges already in these early years, probably like you did when you came, you know, over to the UK and things, that people probably get once they realize, oh shit, I now need to get my life together in my 30s. And it's like, oh, I've already done that. Because you know, you've been a bit of a dick throughout your whole 20s. By all means, please do it to your 20s. But you've now got to your 30s and you're like, shit, I've got 2 kids. I've got no savings. I'm renting a shitty little house, which is fine, by the way, people. Just pointing that out. But like, you kind of get that realization of, I really should get my life together. And I feel like I've been able to do that early, along with yourself, like when you came to the UK.
Well, I'll be honest and say that didn't happen to me till I was about 35.
No,
to be honest. Yeah, you know, so yeah, you're at least 10 years ahead of the game, Callum.
Thank you for the compliment, Martin. And on that note, before my head gets any bigger and I can't get out the door, I'm going to kick you backstage. Please don't rush off anywhere. We'll have a little natter before you rush off. But thank you so much for coming on the show. And everyone can find you on LinkedIn and everywhere like that, can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Martin C. Byrne on LinkedIn. If you want to check out my music, it's thebigbossuk.com. So go and have a look. And thank you for having me, Callum. I really appreciate it, man. It's flown by.
It really, really does. Send me them links as well, and I'll stick it in the description for YouTube as well.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Lovely. I'll chat to you in a minute, Martin.
Cheers, pal.
Oh, I love that. Honestly, the broad spectrum of people. Oh, before I say that, Jamie, good morning, kind sir. Honestly, I will get him on the show, right? I keep pestering this bloke, and I'll get him on the bloody show. He's got no chance. So he's coming. Oh, I'm pressing buttons. I forget I have a touchscreen laptop sometimes. So yes, Jamie, you are coming on the show. I'm not taking no for an answer. Anyway, people, what a fabulous show today with one and only Mr. Martin Byrne. And tomorrow we have a lovely, lovely lady called Jenny who's also coming on the show. And I've actually never met Jenny. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I've never met her. Me and Martin actually only briefly met once or twice before, so it's been fabulous. So remember, people, you've been watching Kwak TV, because why watch crap TV when you can watch Kwak TV? And in the words of my nana, if you can't be good, be careful. If you can't be careful, don't get caught.